As endurance athletes, we are always looking for the latest sports science or research that gives us that extra gear in fitness and performance. But what if there was a simple change to your training or racing that would allow you to consistently perform at your very best? Making sure that every race you did, you were able to perform at your very best, smashing your competitors, and ultimately obtaining victory. Well, enter Norwegian triathlete Kristian Blummenfelt. Kristian impressed the world with his impeccable performance at the Tokyo Olympics. But if you watched the race live, you would have noticed Kristian doing one thing different to most of his other competitors. During the run, Kristian was seen sculling water bottle after water bottle at every opportunity he could. It was obvious this tactic was unique to Kristian, since he was literally drinking water at every possible opportunity, whereas his competitors were mostly using the water stations to throw water over themselves to cool down as opposed to drinking it. Was Kristian's water consumption one of the main reasons he was able to get an advantage in the run? Or was this tactic actually a waste of time? And perhaps Kristian would have won by an even greater distance had he not been so focused on guzzling water at every opportunity throughout the race. Well, we were fascinated by this, and fortunately for us, we managed to get the head of Norwegian Triathlons and Kristian's personal coach on our Get Fast podcast, where host Jordan couldn't wait to ask him this very question.
He probably drank more water, and I really just want you to give us some insight into this. He drank more water on the run than anyone I've ever seen in a triathlon, and it seemed a bit excessive. He was at every station he was taking some, and I know that it was hot and he had to acclimatize, and athletes want to keep themselves cool. He vomited it all up over the finish line. You could see there was pictures of him chucking it. Why was he drinking so much? Was that a plan, or he was just felt dehydrated, or that the plan was to take that much water?
It was, of course, a part of a plan. But Kristian is probably one of the few athletes in the world who can gain weight during a competition. So, but the serious answer to that question is we have done a lot of sweat testing, so we know the sweat rate. We knew how much of the fluid that need to replace, so it should not affect the performance in a negative way. So all the athletes knew how much they needed to drink, and they knew how much the imbalance could be, because there's no way you can drink so much you need to, because I can say it now, but let's say for Kristian, the sweat rate was 2.3 or 2.4 liter per hour. And when you break up the race on the bike, you have a little bit limited how many balls you can bring with you. Of course, you cannot drink on the swim. That means that you need to actually drink quite a lot on the run. And then he knew how much he needed to do. And instead of drinking quite a lot a few times, he took a little bit all the times, and also used a little bit for as a cooling. Yeah.
It's great to hear. I should never have doubted you. I should have known it was an exact plan.
The full interview with Elrid was insightful, where he also revealed their unusually specific lactate training approach, why some of their sessions aren't as hard as you think, and breaking down the specific sessions the Norwegian triathletes do. We highly recommend watching the full episode on our YouTube channel, or just search the Get Fast podcast on any podcast app.